Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. We'll get started here in just a moment. Ron, first in with a chat. Thank you. Upstate New York. No snow in upstate New York, right? LOL. Hey, Ron, can you do me a favor? Just give me a thumb up or some notification that there is the audio is coming through okay and the visual. That would be super helpful. Super helpful. We'll start here in just a moment. Welcome everybody to another What's Up Wednesday. We do this van live weekly RV show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. This is episode 3. We're still kind of tweaking the format a little bit, and thank you, JK House, on the audio, so that's great. I'm actually in Florida. I'm on the Atlantic coast of Florida. I'm in Boynton Beach, which is a little south of West Palm Beach and about 40 minutes north of Fort Lauderdale. So if you know where that is, I'm in my Volta-equipped Winnebago Travado. Thank you, Volta, because I'm sitting in a grocery store parking lot, because that's where I get the best cellular at this point in time. So big show tonight. I just got a notification on my phone that we're kind of competing with Chad and Paul, who's doing Van Life Cooking Live. Someday us YouTubers will get our wires straight on when we go live. I'm doing this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central, just for the record. Yes, let me know where you're watching from. The weather's just really not awesome in a lot of the country right now, so people are kind of shoveling snow, then coming to thaw out. It's pretty cool here in Florida. In fact, it is what I would say downright cold. You're not going to feel sorry for me. So this is 59 degrees. Whoa, where's the thing? Yeah, 59 degrees. It's going to be 49 degrees tonight. So pretty chilly for Florida. And that's the way we roll. Boy, we got a big show tonight. Hopefully my camera will focus on me. Focus. There it goes. And we are really excited to cover some of this. So this is our 3rd episode, as I mentioned, 33 folks coming in. What we do here is I'm just trying to create a little bit of a variety show, to be quite frank with you. I love YouTube Lives. A lot of folks are just kind of like talking heads, and that's cool. I've done it before. I want to bring some additional content and thought leadership. Man, I really freaked my camera out. Unless it's my internet connection making me fuzzy. So what we do here, again, it's every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central, and it's a weekly van life show. And what we're going to do is we cover a number of topics, including your live Q&A. And there's a live replay right after this, which is awesome. So post right up to YouTube. So if you can't join us live, you can always see it later. I ask you to please be polite and kind to each other. That's always a good way to roll. And the question format we're going to do is let's start with the Kevin of 30 and a Wake Up. And if you haven't seen his channel, go to his channel and 30 and a Wake Up. And the question format is asterisk, 3 question marks followed by. So star, 3 question marks. That will help me find your question. There's kind of what it looks like a little bit. And I'm on a little bit of a tear to up my Instagram game. I actually had a training today on Instagram. I didn't realize how much I did not know. Dave Kent, what's up? Yes, Kansas City. Good to see Kansas City. South Lyon, Michigan. Love Michigan. Can't wait to get back in there. Indiana. We're coming to Indiana soon, and I'm really excited about that. Well, soon being relative. But again, if you're not following me on Instagram, then go ahead and check that out. I don't know what text is. Sorry, guys, trying to get my camera. It's fuzzy on me for some reason. I think I freaked it out with the light. Bad idea. Try one thing here. Jeez. Always something learning on these things. Okay, we'll leave it like that. All right, and then a couple of things. So if you didn't see this video, this was posted today, and this was 24 hours at the beach a few weeks ago on the Tampa side of Florida. And I've been getting a ton of questions and comments on this. I mean, it's just been blowing up. I'm ready to put this in front of my camera now. But you can see there's just a gazillion questions, which is great. Some really good ones too, by the way. So if you haven't seen that video, you'll want to check that out. 24 hours at the beach. I intended to stay for the day. I stayed for the night, and it was really fun. I just love doing that. That's the magic of van life. So let me know where you are coming in from. Yeah, Todd is saying just something on the lens. I think I got it figured out. I think I freaked out my camera by exposing it too much at bright light. So it should be better now. It looks better to me. Hope it looks better to you. So again, the way we roll here is we have a number of van life topics that we want to cover, and then sprinkling in between all that is all of your live Q&A. So today we're going to cover some channel events. I've got some really interesting RV news headlines for you. And we're going to kick it up a notch with viewer recommendation of the week, song of the week, and pet pick of the week. I think I have a solution. We're going to announce that tonight, and then we are going to see how that goes. And then we have viewer question of the week, and this is a pretty big question of the week. The cost of van life versus living in an apartment or a house. I've actually ran the numbers this morning. It took way too much time, but it was really a good exercise. So if you're curious ever, and I get asked frequently, if there is, what's the cost of van life? Is it less expensive than a terrestrial house or condo or apartment? And that would be something good for everybody to know. And we actually have that covered tonight. Okay, so let me know where you're coming in from. We've got 56 awesome people in here. I know we're competing with Chad and Paul in their Vegan Cooking Live in their new rig. If you haven't seen their fancy new rig, be sure and check their channel out. Chad and Paul, awesome guys, and a really awesome rig. Hello from Washington State. That's awesome. My old home state from a long time ago. Okay, so let's roll into this. And this is, we're having a channel roundup this weekend. I originally scheduled it for Sunday, February 7th at 6:30 a.m. We're doing a sunrise over the beach, over the Atlantic Ocean. It's supposed to rain Sunday morning. So what's the point of sitting in the rain, not seeing any sunrise? Did I say sunset? It's a sunrise. So we're moving it to Saturday. So please adjust your calendars. If you're in the Southern Florida area and you would like to join us for a sunrise at the beach, watching the sunrise come up over the Atlantic together, that would be just a pleasure to have you there. I might have a special guest. We met the brand ambassador of Fort Lauderdale. She's a really cool gal, Carol, and she said she's going to join us. So I hope she does. She talks all about the history of Fort Lauderdale. So we'll get a history lesson there as well. So please join us for that. It's on the A1A Florida Highway and the Northeast 17th Street. I'll make this big for you so you can see it. All the information is on my website. So again, if you're in the area, get your van. Even if you don't have a van, just bring your car and join us. I'm expecting half dozen to a dozen vans. That would really be awesome to have those folks there. Channel roundup. Next on the agenda is RV news headlines, and start spinning up your questions. We'll hit those here in just a moment. But I want to give you some really cool headlines here that, so I subscribe to a couple of RV news services. This was a survey done by Harvest Hosts. And Harvest Hosts, as you know, is a membership program. I'm a member, huge proponent of it. And they did a survey of travelers and said, of those travelers, it didn't say how many people they surveyed, but 53% said they're planning to travel by RV, which was significantly more than by air. It was almost even with a car, if I remember right. And of those, 31% are going to be traveling while doing remote work, kind of like what we do here in van life. And they estimated that over $22 million is spent in local areas because of Harvest Hosts rolling into those areas. Those Harvest Host RVers, like me, I spend a fair amount of money in those places I go. And this kind of ties into the question we had a little bit last week about, do RVers, contribute to the tax base in any given place that they go to? And this kind of proves that, yeah, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket, let's be honest, but it's nonetheless boosting the local economy. So I thought that would be really fascinating. And what I've done is I actually created a new webpage on my website called RV Headline News. So it's on the homepage, Just kind of scroll down about halfway, and you can read these articles directly. Each one I post each week. As part of What's Up Wednesday, I will actively put this on my website so you can see the entire article and kind of judge for yourself what's going on. But I thought those are pretty fascinating numbers. And speaking of Harvest Host, you are probably aware that I'm a member. Mentioned that we talk about Harvest Host all the time. My number one thing for 2019 should have been for 2020. But if you're looking to get a Harvest Host, and why Harvest Host? A free camp overnight in really cool areas you probably wouldn't go to anyway, and you really meet really nice people and really neat craftspeople around wineries, breweries, farms, museums. It's just a really great way to roll. I think the number one reason I like it is because it takes me to places I wouldn't go, which is really an important thing to me. I've had so many amazing experiences to places I wouldn't go because I wouldn't even know about that little town probably. So if you go to my website, there's a link there. You can see that. You get 15% off your membership. I make a couple bucks, so thank you for that. Help support the channel. And Boondockers Welcome, same kind of deal. Sign up there, you get a little bit of a discount, and I get a couple bucks, which is awesome. We're actually Boondockers Welcome in Fort Lauderdale the next 2 nights. So stay tuned on that. We got a video coming up about that. All right, so get your questions out. Let's get these rolled up, and I'm going to go like this. So time for some questions. So I'm going to scroll through the chat here. And the question asking format, so I try to get each one is star, question mark, made famous by Kevin, 30 to wake up. So scrolling for questions. Ooh, 65 in Texas. Ginger Walkabout in the house. If you haven't seen Ginger's her channel, you'll want to check out her YouTube channel. She's pivoted a little bit to more of a terrestrial house situation, and she's now renting out her van. So something we've talked about early on in our RV experience. So check her out. She's got a whole bunch of new stuff going on about that. So you'll want to check her out. So yeah, sunscreen on the lens. No, I think I freaked it out by exposing it to light. So I think looks like I got solved. Maybe somebody can give me a yes on that. Scrolling for questions. So here's Michael Clark's got one. It's an interesting question. So Michael wants to know, hi Scott, question, can you tell me the true height of the Travado being a park model with a carport, and wanted to know what the clearance is I will need to park a Travado? Thank you. I round up, I think it's like 9 feet, 7 inches. I round up to 10, and now with my lift, I've actually rounded up to 11. My recommendation is, let's see if we can find this fast on Winnebago. Winnebago, Travado. See if we can get a exact thing for you real time, because that's like how we like to roll here. So here's the Travado. So let me share this with you guys. And we will do application window, Travado. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Let's see, specifications. What do you think? Exterior height. So 9 feet 4 inches. You guys can see that? 9 feet 4 inches on the Travado. So I would round up. I would give 10 for sure. I would just say 11 because you just never know, right? So great question. Thank you for that. What other questions do you folks have? Thank you for bringing that question. Congratulations on your park model. Those things are so cool. They are at the RV shows often, and you know, if you don't need a lot of space and you're kind of tired of moving around, but want a small space, a park model is really a way to go. All right, looks like we have a couple of questions coming in. Simply Sonora. So this is an interesting question. So hi everyone. Can you suggest an amount that should be saved before getting on the road for incidentals? Well, that is super subjective. Great question. It really depends on how you roll. And you're going to see some numbers tonight. I'm going to share that with you and the audience. If you don't have an income, that's going to be very different than if you do have an income and you can control your spending. I found that I've been able to control my spending on a number of ways, way differently than a house, but it's not free unless you're kind of roaming out into the BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, and are kind of growing your own food and harvesting. I don't, however you want to roll, but I would say probably just from my experience, I'd say $2,000 a month minimum. Incidentals, which is gas, RV parks, campsites, food, etc. So interesting question. I would not want to roll out and then run out of money. So I would have a money plan. I would find a job that you can do on the road, whether it's like work camping or get a remote work job. Unless you've got many tens of thousands, probably I would say 20 to 30,000 of funds that you can go for 6 to 12 months without having to worry about money, so you can focus on what you're trying to accomplish versus where is my next dollar coming from. So I saved up in that manner. Unfortunately, my job has been able to keep me rolling, so that's great. A couple more questions, then we'll go to our next subject here, which is viewer recommendations. Let's go to this question here. Hey, Juneau, Alaska, look at this one. Hey, Todd. Yeah, I think we should all get along better than we do, don't you? Gosh, life's too short, and the cosmos is so vast. It's just the most amazing. I think time will prove out that the human race is actually a pretty good group of folks. So let's see. So Nooster Northwester, this is a good question. Any concerns about availability of places to stay as more and more people are seemingly getting to RV travel? Are you seeing more people on the road since you started? Great question. I will answer the last part first. Are you seeing? I'm in Florida. I've been in Florida for a couple months, leaving very soon. More to come on that. But Florida is just flooded with RVs. It's peak season for the next 3 months down here for all the snowbirds and as you leave Florida, you can see people moving east and west. I think it's on Interstate 10, and then on 95, people coming from the north. So I'm in a weird place in the sense that it's a mecca for RVing, wintering, folks from, and even just the license plates you see in the parking lots at the grocery stores and everything. I'd say a third to more are from out of state, in the Northeast, in particular, Chicago, a lot of Illinoisans. So yes, but even before I got to Florida, I would say on balance, it was not any more or less than I saw before. And as far as availability, and I've been thinking about doing a video on this because I'm an urban cowboy. I don't go to the national parks. That really wasn't my intention. I'd much rather go meet and greet and taste and drink and experience and culture and museums. And the times I have tried to stay in a national park, it was a project. Booked so far out, and like every other campsite was closed or half the thing for social distancing. And the cancellation rules on national parks is just punishing. You gotta, I mean, I had some pretty big parks in Utah, I think one in Texas. And if you give like an advanced cancellation of like 3 days, you forfeit everything except for 1 day. It's just way more than I. So the point being is, if you're going to RV national state campgrounds, those seem to be more filled. They're usually less expensive. Although I just booked a county park in Florida, $56 a night. Oh my gosh. RV parks, haven't had any problem with RV parks. We're vans, so we can get in pretty much anywhere. Even tent sites. I saw that video. Even in tent sites, sometimes they'll let you do that. Great question. So another question here that will change topics slightly. So Vandemic, I love his name. Any plans to visit SpaceX in Texas? You can actually park across the road from the two sites. They would generate views. Yeah, that's a great idea. I love SpaceX. I'm a huge space nut. If you didn't know, I'm going to hit Kennedy Space Center before I leave. Boy, if I need that's a great point. I will do some homework on that because that would be super awesome. Elon is just my hero by really putting it to the metal on getting into flight. 96 people tonight. This is great. I think last week we had 150. Hey, if you're getting anything out of this, if you learned even one thing, sure, appreciate a thumb up. That would be awesome. And go ahead and hit that like button for me. That would be great. Okay. Thank you, Vandemic. I'll put that on my list. Let's shift gears here just a little bit And what I want to do now is talk about viewer recommendation of the week. So we had a couple of really good ones right out of the gate. And the situation is that I get so many good suggestions in this format right here, it's hard for me to find them. So what I've done is I've actually created an email address for viewer recommendations for you to put those in specifically. So if you have a recommendation on a product, going to SpaceX. This is a viewer recommendation to me, but I bounce it back to you folks because I've gotten some really good ones over the last 2.5 years, and I want to put some focus on those for you. So if you can help me out, and literally the email address is GSLL, that's for Go Small Live Large, viewer recommendation at gmail.com. I think it's set up correctly and ready to accept your recommendations. So we're going to use this not only for a product, but for a song of the week and your pet photo of the week. So blast my email box there. That will help me sort and be much more efficient at this. And I just can't tell you what that it's been such a delight having that new coffee method. I've been really enjoying. Made a video on it. If you haven't seen that video, pretty good responses. I've gotten a lot of more comments. They say use a stainless steel filter, not the paper one. Okay, and what we want to do is just show spotlight some of the things that you folks know about, some of the tips, tricks, whether you're RVing, sometime, no time, just things around the house that would really be amazing. So I want to capture those and bounce them back out to you. It's not fair for me to get all those things and you guys not see them and gals. So that's how we're going to do that. I'm going to try and find the best of the week, go do some research, and certainly crow about it if I'm using it. I'll let you know if I have. I think it's just a cool idea and I haven't tried it out. I don't want to recommend something if I really haven't in a strong way. So so that's how we're going to roll on that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the song of the week. You guys gave me a whole bunch the first week. I'm still challenged with getting the songs figured out. So if you can help me out here, if you made a recommendation of a song of the week and that's your favorite artist, maybe it's a new song you just discovered, hit me up on, again, GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. And we will start reviewing, sharing those out next week. And I had mentioned that I discovered country music through my RV experience. I never really experienced country music before. And so I know there's for me at least, probably for you, that when I hear songs, they're like mileposts in my life. And if it's a really poignant song at a special place and time, again, I can hear that song and it takes me right back to where I was and how I experienced that song. And so I have a lot of those. You guys hear enough about from me. So what we want to do is just have you do some of those, and it would just be a joy. So again, GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. Flood that email box and we'll put some new stuff up there next week for you. All right, let's look at some more questions of the week here. So Dave's got one here. This looks like a pretty good one here. Nope, there was one right. Okay, David, I'm going to answer this, but if you can help us out and use the question format, which is asterisk, 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 question mark, question mark, question mark, that would be awesome. And he wants to know, how do you do medical when on the road? Are you talking about medical insurance or if I need medical services? Not real clear. I'll answer both ways. So I have medical insurance through my corporate job. It's out of state, so I'm using kind of a really expensive, what do you call it, deductible plan. So fortunately, my partner Kyle has really good insurance, so we're using his. And what I do is I have my our doctor in Chicago. I visit him once or twice a year, so I kind of line everything up in Chicago when I'm going to be in the area, and annual checkups and stuff like that. And if I need something on the road, we found that urgent care is really pretty good. There's varying flavors of urgent care. You can roll in. They're inexpensive. You pay out of pocket for like $100 or something, or sometimes if it's going to be expensive, you take they'll take insurance. But I just love having that consumer nature of a medical service. You go in, there's very little wait, if any, and you get doctors, quality care, and they're really plentiful. So that's how we've handled that. And even some of I think it's Walgreens has clinics inside of them now, maybe even CVS. So again, strep throat and just kind of things that are routine, but you can't get over the counter medicine. That's how we do that. But clearly, if there was something serious, we'd invoke the hospital system of where we are. So that's how we do that. Good question. Dave has an interesting question here. Do you think people regret buying RVs when gas prices go up in price again? Did people stop RVing when prices were up? I don't know. Prices have always been pretty reasonable. I mean, they went down because of the supply demand. I mean, America's been putting out a lot of petroleum product, which has balanced the equation on supply, right? I mean, politics gets involved with that, but I'm pretty sure the new administration doesn't want to shut the country down tomorrow, anytime soon. I mean, we probably should have a trend toward getting off fossil fuels. Everybody's been talking about for decades. So at some point, it's going to make more sense than others. I don't think so. Less than maybe the big Class A guys. Those things are pretty gas guzzling. So maybe they downsize from a A to a C or a C to a B. So I don't think so. I think people keep that in mind. And again, depending on how you RV, whether you drive a bunch or you drive once for 6 months and then make it a return trip, not a big deal. So, yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. What do you think? Let me know. So this is kind of interesting. So this is not is more of a comment, but let's talk about this real quick. And we got a couple more big topics coming up, including the topic of the evening, which is what's the cost of van life, RVing versus house and apartment. So stay tuned for that. We got 103 people. This is so great. So it's me. Daisha says, sounds like BLM camping can take away some of the flexibility and spontaneity. Actually, to the contrary, BLM land is really prevalent in the West. I've only done it twice. I am not an expert. Kevin 30 to Wake Up definitely is more of an expert on that. It's super flexible because you don't make any reservations. You just kind of roll in and you can stay for 14 days. The trick for me was finding the right spot. They're hard to locate for me. There's apps out there. There's maps out there. There's rangers. There's, I'm sure, forums and stuff. What I was talking about was a traditional campsite in a national park or a traditional campsite in a state park. National in particular, those are overwhelmed, certainly the big parks, from my experience, which is not a lot, but it's when you make those, the availability is pretty limited. You can book quite a ways out, but now if you're having a shift in plans as you draw closer, my experience is there's cancellation fees that are pretty punishing. So I like being flexible. I like being spontaneous. So if I need just some safe haven, an RV park is fine for me for a day or two. And the state and national parks are pretty expensive. I was a state park in Washington State in Yakima. It was $59 a night. I just booked one in Broward County for Saturday night this week. It was $58. It's kind of, it's crazy. Hopefully that helps. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit here. Let me look at my notes, see where we are. Doing good. Okay, so this is Luke. This is my cat, Van Life Luke. If you haven't seen him in a while, you'll want to check me out on Instagram because you get a lot of morning shots of Luke not wanting to get out of bed. He is last man out. And here again, I'm asking for your pet photo of the week, particularly your pet in an RV. I see Ginger Walkabout's in here, so I'm sure she has some pretty good whiskey dog pictures. And I would love to see what your pictures are of your pet. So pet name, what kind of rig do you have, where it was taken, and what's kind of a quick storyline. And then we'll pick the best, the funniest, the cutest. What's not to like about pets, right? And use that special email address, gsllviewerrecommendation@gmail, and we'll take a look at those next week. Cool? All right, let's look at what's next here. So we'll do a couple of channel updates, and this is pretty fascinating. Then we'll answer a few more questions. Let me see. Yeah, questions. So I promised you a partner update once a month and a channel update. So this is the metrics for January, and I'd like to be transparent because there is, what's the right way to say this? There's a lot of work that goes into YouTube. I love it. It's a means to an end to me. It allows me to go part-time at my corporate job. It allows me to have interaction with people like you. It gives me a purpose. It helps me change lives. But this is a business, and I've been working my butt off this entire month on RV shows and RV tours, if you haven't noticed. And the metrics have shown up really well to that effect. So what I want to do is kind of walk through this with you, and so you have an understanding. Um, and for every 10 minutes you watch on YouTube, in my case, there's about 5 hours of editing plus recording time. So it is a big project. But because of all that effort paid off in January with all the RV show, I had a 191% increase in watch time, 1.3 million minutes for the month of January, which is incredible. A 229% increase in views of the videos, 199,000 for the 30-day period. I had a $750 revenue increase to $1,300 for the entire month. And this is important because, again, this is a business. I cut back my cut back my corporate job and income by half to pay more attention to this. So I need the income to balance the equation. This is a business. My goal this year is $3,000. I'm very upfront about this. This is a business. So I'm sorry you have to watch the ads. In fact, I had some nasty grams today about ads. Hey, sign up for the YouTube thing. It's like 15 bucks a month. You don't see any ads anymore. I still get a little tiny slice of that. I mean, it's like public television. Jeez Louise. Anyway, okay, so our view duration went down just a little bit, and we did manage to add almost 1,000 subscribers for the month. That is pretty amazing. What do you think about those kind of numbers? Do you like this transparency or not? Here's a couple more metrics that I think are pretty important. It didn't shift. There it goes. These are the most popular videos by the month in terms of number of views. And if you looked at the, let me get the, whoops, well, hold on, sorry. Get this off the screen, sorry. There. The Nova was a home run. I really wasn't familiar with it at all. And it was the best performing video of the month. Just crazy. And all the RVs really were pretty amazing. But almost 30,000 people have now viewed the Nova video from the RV show, which is just incredible. So again, I just like to be transparent with you. This is a business, and it's a passion play for me as well. I think it's really fascinating for you guys to understand these things, and this helped me be a better YouTuber. I had somebody comment today. Hopefully she's watching. Actually, he gave me a beauty tip: shave. All right, so I shaved for it. So you guys just help me go big on these things, and I really appreciate that. So let me know if you are surprised by any of this stuff, if you find it kind of interesting, or I don't want to know anything about it, just tell me about RVs, in which case maybe we'll shift. All right, let's take a look at a couple more questions here. Ginger Walkabout. Uh-oh. Ginger Walkabout, again, awesome channel. Visit her channel. She wants to know, whoops, sorry. When do we get to hear you play the guitar? You know, I have a confession. You may appreciate this. I had to pause on the guitar lessons since Christmas because there was so much going on in January around the RV show. I was paying for lessons, showing up, not doing any of my stuff, and it was killing me. And they're pretty expensive lessons. So I put everything on hold until I hit the road at the end in a couple weeks. So it is my goal to play for the channel in Nashville soon. That's my goal. Great question. And I'd love to play it. It's just, it's therapeutic, right? But it's learning, so it's frustrating, and there's so many things I need to get done, which is always in the back of my mind. So some good questions rolling in here. So Keith, so this is about the cat, Van Life Luke. Did it take very long for your kitty to get used to being on the road? No, actually, strangely enough. He was kind of agitated for the first couple weeks, but he'd been in the van before at home base. So he was familiar with the territory. And now he's actually riding actively in, I'm pointing at the dashboard. And we took a drive yesterday, about 45 minutes. It was street plus freeway plus street again. He was in the dashboard in daylight for the entire trip. Couldn't believe it. First time he did that. And he's taken to it real well. He is just a happy cat. He gets to go wherever I mean, what a lucky cat, right? Beaches and wineries and Craters of the Moon National Park. And another great couple in an RV, Chris and Cassandra, their van, the Constitution, with their cat Benny, has had a similar experience. I think it's just personality of the pet. I would not let Luke be in here if he was tearing things up, and he's not tearing things up. It's pretty amazing. Good question. So here's a good question, kind of very practical. How about this one? Where and how often do you do laundry? So I've been camping in the in-laws' driveway for the last 3 weeks. There's a whole backstory there you'll learn about shortly. Right now I'm doing in mother-in-law's free laundry services in her garage. But when I'm on the road, I've been living again in the van full time. I'm not going into her house. A big backstory there. And but when I'm actively traveling, I use laundromats. And there's a lot of really nice laundromats. It's not super expensive. I put everything in one load, one pouch of detergent, and the whole thing's done in 45 minutes. Oftentimes, they got really good Wi-Fi. So I park the van close enough because it's okay in that situation to park close, get their Wi-Fi. I don't really hang out inside the laundromat. I come back to my rig, chill with Luke. He can go outside, and I tap into their Wi-Fi until my laundry's done. So that's what I do. I actually did a video on that some time back. So it's a really a fun video. So you want to check that out. So that's how we do laundry. I have one laundry bag, and when it's full, which is about a week, 7-8 days, but that's how we do it. Hopefully that helps. Good question. Let's see. This is a good one. Simply Sonora. So you folks, I'm sure, are familiar with Mike and Jennifer Wendland. They have a huge RV lifestyle empire. They got podcasts, they got email lists, they've got YouTube channels, they've got everything going on, digital travel guides. I kind of follow their rules, which is a 3 and 3 rule, I think. It's like, don't drive more than 3 hours and stop driving by 3 p.m. or stop driving by 3 p.m. And I kind of follow that rule, and it's a good rule for good reason. Road fatigue is real. Decision fatigue is real. You do not want to pull into an RV, anything late at night, and try and get hooked up, settled, parked, unless you're going to a Cracker Barrel, in which case it's kind of a no-brainer. Just park and leave in the morning. But man, unless I really try and slow down. So, 3 hours, and I take the back road, so I'm going slow on purpose. And then I try to arrive wherever I am by 3 p.m., certainly before dark. And I usually, if I'm leaving early in the morning, I leave pretty early, like before the sun comes up. Another reason I don't like to drive at dark is because I'm worried about animal strikes. If you travel as much as I do, and Ginger Walkabout and Chad and Paul and all the YouTubers, dead animals all over the place, and I don't ever want to hit one. And they're out early in the morning, and really in the evening, I found. So, good question. Maybe a couple more questions here, and then we'll switch gears. Kind of the big show tonight is what's it cost of van life, real experience, versus an apartment, which used to live in one of those, and a house. And we've got the numbers for you tonight, so stay tuned. 126 people. Thank you for coming in. How many thumbs up? I can't tell from my screens here, but if you have getting anything out of this at all, give me a thumb up. That would sure help me, help YouTube, and this would get shared out. Okay, so let's go down here. Appreciate this, Tristan. Huge news on the channel growth. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We got a long way to go, but I am so blessed, so fortunate, put in a lot of hard work, Volta partnership, Embassy RV partnership, able to cut my corporate job back by half, which is amazing. YouTube's coming on strong. So this kind of comment here is what I like to see. It's a lot of work, and it's stuff I'd like to do. My whole point of getting into the YouTube and the RV was to change my life so I could change others. And it's on the shoulders of the Russos and Keep Your Daydream, and those people have big businesses now. But when I started, they were small, kind of like me, bigger, but nonetheless. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Pandemic. Knockoff, I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, FNT's letting the ads run. Yeah, if you don't like the ads, it's kind of funny. Kyle puts up with the ads. I'm like, just pay the $15 a month. get the YouTube Red. I'm not sure what they even call it, but golly, it's 120 bucks a year. If you spend a lot of time in YouTube, why watch the channel, the ads? And people like me will get a little tiny bit of that anyway. So, um, Ginger Walkabout. Thank you, Kenneth. He said, love your content. Appreciate that. Always trying to get better. Let me know. And by the way, viewer recommendation, GSLL, viewer recommendation at gmail.com. If you have something specifically you want to hit me on for channel content, many of you do. That's what generates these viewer question of the week. Let me know. I am all about whatever works for you so we can grow fast and be better RVers together. So Ginger is talking about her her guitar being in the closet. Yes, we're coming back to Nashville. I may have a very big announcement around my plans coming out of Florida. I need to play this out a little bit more. I think I gave you a little wink, Ginger, when we were in Nashville together, but country music is really important in my life, super late in life discovery. And if you haven't seen the PBS Ken Burns series called Country Music, I'm planning some stuff around that. I don't want to reveal everything quite yet, but I may be on a journey for the next few months. And if you like country music, you like history, you like people that have made a difference, an impression on the culture, you might really want to follow me and be subscribed, because if I go down this path and I'm toying with it, it's going to be a big deal. And it's going to be many months and a lot of work, but it's going to be so enriching for me and hopefully for you. So a good question here by A. Burrow. Any idea when the Volta SSG will be available? I talked to some retrofitters and they have no idea. I don't either. There should be information on their website soon. Everybody was just so focused on getting everything pulled together for the RV Super Show in Tampa in January that everybody's kind of like a sigh of relief. Now, how do we go the next step? So that, I think we'll see more about that shortly. I've been in communication with them, and they know it's a big thing, and they know that they want to get information out. I think it's going to be a huge home run. I'm so excited. It opens up such a world of possibilities. So stay tuned. Check out their, just go to their website. I think it's Volta apps, Volta PS, Google. They've shortened Volta Power Systems to a shorter version, but you can Google it and check it out there. Great question. But what a great looking system, right? So here's a good question. AeroPress video is fantastic. Ordering one because of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And that really makes my day. I'm not going to use the stainless steel one because I would probably put it in my garbage can and I got to dig it out. So many of you have recommended the stainless steel one, which would not have to use the paper. I mean, I moved from instant coffee to pressed coffee, so that's a big leap in taste, and I probably wouldn't be able to taste the difference with the stainless steel one. That's why I didn't make recommendation of the week. But it's, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I can't tell you what a game changer it was. So thank you. Again, this is how you guys drive me. I don't know everything. I'm just a YouTuber out in an RV, right? I'm in a van in a parking lot right now at a grocery store. So you know as much as I about some things, and I know a few more things than you do about some things. And that's what we're here to do. We learn together, we share together. You decide what's best for you. Seriously, that is our mantra here. Okay, RMAC. Oh yes, our friends at RMAC. Love Luke. Yeah, it's GSLL, viewer recommendation at gmail.com. If you go to my website, I'll be sure and put that on there. It may not be there right now that I think about it. But let's spin, GSLL, which stands for Go Small, Live Large. GSLL, viewer recommendation at gmail.com. A couple more here, and then we'll get the big question of the night. So Scott's got a good question here. This is funny. So Scott, haven't met a Scott I didn't like, right? You still have a desk job with different views out your window every day. Is it everything you thought it would be, and is it worth everything you put into it? What a beautiful question. Thank you, Scott. It's exceeded every expectation, and they were lofty. There's been some learning curve. There's been frustration. There's been decision fatigue. But when I talk with my colleagues in their now snowbound lockdown houses in in the Northeast and in Chicago, and I'm actively sitting at the beach working. If there's a picnic table there, they're like, turn your camera off. We're tired of looking at the palm trees. And yes, it's such an amazing experience. You don't have to go full time. Ginger was full time. Now she's kind of part time, I would say, right, Ginger? Um, there's so much to see, do, meet and greet, taste, experience. That's the way I like to roll. So that's the way I do it. And the work just kind of folds into it now. So I got Volta days, I got Embassy RV days, I've got my job, Lex Tech days. And it's like 7 Saturdays with a few projects and a few conference calls. I have 7 Saturdays now. And if I don't like the scenery, I move. If I don't like my neighbors, like you saw in the video, I hope, I move. I didn't move that night because I was wedged in between these two palm trees on purpose by day and intended to leave before they got dark, and I'm staying, and I couldn't back out with confidence. So I just stayed put. That's why I didn't move, because I didn't know, and I couldn't really go forward because I would have, anyway, if I'm like my neighbors, I leave. It's everything I thought about, and it's enriching so many people's lives. I'm trying to keep track. On my lives change board up here, and some RVers changed my lives. The Russos and Keep Your Daydream, Less Junk, More Journey, all those folks, and I just now it's just a labor of love. So I hope that helps. Great question. Yeah, it's so amazing. And you don't have to have a YouTube channel to have this fun at it, right? Um, um, Yeah, this is Ginger. This is kind of to your point, Scott. Ginger's saying it's amazing. Started watching when I was learning about Travato. Now we're actual friends, meet up in real life. This community rocks. It really is an amazing community. The van community is special. I think the vans reflect our personality more so than the other big rigs. So I think it's a really, really special community. And Chad and Paul, they've left their Travato, but um, they're still in the van life community. They're driving an amazing storyteller van, and it's just great. Okay, let's shift gears just a little bit. This is another segment of the program we like to call Viewer Question of the Week. And this came in on January. Let me get Ginger off here. One moment, please. And then we'll expand this out so you can read this with me. So the question is, my life in Okinawa. And he's a frequent, or she is a frequent commenter. So hoping it's not too personal, but a great video would be, how much money do you save living in a van versus renting an apartment or living in a home, paying for cable, utilities, etc. Great video. So I thought I'd actually do the numbers on this. I've been asked many times. I've never been this transparent, and I got a little pushback from the other half, but I think it's an interesting question. I wasn't doing it to save money, although money was a big part of getting out of the house. And now we've managed to get out of the house and we've Airbnb'd it. That's a whole nother video. We got to do that sometime. So let me share some numbers with you. Hopefully you'll find this fascinating. Your mileage may vary. So I'll expand this out for you. I try to make it pretty and fun. So these are kind of averages across the last 6 months, June through December. So you can see in here, I've got a van payment. It's about $600. My insurance on the van is for full-time, which is different than part-time, by the way. Campsites. So I spend a fair amount on campsites because I just like to go there about every 5th, 6th day just to relax, empty tanks, all that kind of stuff. Gasoline really depends on how much I'm driving. So that one's pretty much a variable. Got a gym membership, got Apple One. I dine out way less. I eat in the van a lot. I might go for a cocktail or something, but that's kind of included in the entertainment, education. Those are like sightseeing tickets. Those costs are pretty minimal. Groceries, most of your food, a little bit of alcohol. Well, a third of that's alcohol probably. Furniture, don't worry about that. And maintenance, I'm not including, I've not really paid much out of pocket for maintenance on the van or on the Winnebago stuff. It's all been covered under warranty to this point. So now compare that to the apartment. This is our apartment, which is a condo in Forest Park, Illinois, Chicago suburb, right next to Oak Park. And now this is a full-time rental, but for the last 6 months of 2018, I think it was, My dates all get mixed up. These are our actual numbers for a 6-month period averaged out. So you can see that what we were doing is we were traveling, that'd be getting on a plane and going to hotel places to go find fun places, and then we'd be in entertainment mode, right? Carrying on, dining out. So those expenses were much higher than they are now for us, much less for me now that I'm mostly on my own here. Do you find that interesting at all? Let's just kind of curious what you think about that. I was kind of shocked, especially with the travel. We love to travel. 160 people. This is great. Thank you. Thumb up if you're getting anything out of this. Let me show you the house. This was shocking. Oh my God. This is where it's like, holy cow, I'm so loving van life. I've not made a mortgage payment in 2 years. And now we have 2 properties in Florida that are fully Airbnb'd. That's why Kyle and I are camped out in his mom's driveway. So those are money-making properties now. So again, your mileage may vary. We had a very nice house, about a $500,000 house in Forest Park, which was, the upper 20% of Forest Park, kind of a blue-collar village in Chicago. Nothing, not $1 million mansions, corporate incomes paying for all this. Cars are paid for, so it's gas and insurance. The utilities, the maintenance was just a killer. We like to throw parties. And this was something else that we learned is we love to entertain because we just love to meet and greet and share. But there was very little reciprocation. I'm not sure if you ever noticed that yourselves, but everybody was coming to our parties. We never got invited to other parties, even though everybody showed up for our stuff. Now, we had a couple neighbors that were really cool, and there was a lot of reciprocation back and forth. But largely, we'd have 2 or 3, 4 big parties a year. Our last Halloween party, Kyle went a little over budget, spent over $3,000 on Halloween decorations. I mean, that was like a $5,000 or $6,000 weekend. Oh my gosh. But we had a blast and we have great memories for it. And that's the whole point. And that's what's changed here is that we've changed from those type of experiences to more van life experiences, RV experiences, which is go, see, do, experience, meet new folks. The RV community, as Ginger talked about, is very reciprocal. Everybody invites everybody to their campfires and shares a bottle of wine, and it's really, really refreshing. That the reciprocation is just off the charts. So it was a great question that was asked by the viewer there, and My Life Okinawa. I hope that helps you out. I hope that helps everybody out just a little bit. Again, your mileage may vary. If you're not traveling a lot, you don't throw up big parties, you have a very small house or something like that. Again, your view, your vantage point here might change, but the van, I was kind of surprised at how inexpensive it really is. Then you can go haywire, and that doesn't include, by the way, any improvements to the van. So lifting it, not included there, that's kind of a business expense. Wrapping the vehicle for marketing purposes, business expense. So the YouTube income, the Volta, those are what paying those bills, but average monthly costs, you just got to see those. So what do you think? Anything new there? Was that helpful at all? We're going to wrap up here in just a few minutes. 157 people. We're at an all-time high. I'm going to take a screenshot. Thank you. Give a thumb up if you got anything out of this tonight. Let's see. Catching up here. Let's see. So John Young has a good question here. So let me shift one more. We'll go just a few more minutes here. So get your question in. And let's see. John has a good question here. So Embassy, any Embassy RV updates? How long is the wait time now? You visiting Embassy soon? Updates coming soon, probably next month. I'm going to meet with them next week over Zoom. We got some really cool ideas. I don't know on wait times. I know there's a couple of people in this audience. Sherry D is doing her volunteer thing, so she's not here live. I think her van's being delivered in less than 60 days, which is amazing. She's been waiting since June-ish, I think. So wait times are still, kind of out there. They are just pumping vans out and specialty vehicles. They are so busy and changing a whole lot of processes and really building a foundation for growth. So more to come on them. And I'm going to probably be in there May, I'm thinking April or May. So stay tuned. We got a lot of big plans with them. So had a little pause during this COVID thing and not attending RV shows. So thank you for that question. So another question from John. I keep drooling over the Ford Transit. So John's probably talking about the Coachman built Beyond on the Ford Transit chassis, and then there's the Nova on the ProMaster. The Ford is it's pretty juicy. I'm making friends up there, and we're gonna see what we can do together. Um, the Transit is really tall. It has a very different sense of airiness than this van, but I just love the ProMaster. The width, I'm telling you, is the 4 inches wide. I don't need the height, but yeah, it's really lovely van. F&T out of Canada, Toronto. Do I have that right? Ever lonely on the road, or does Luke fulfill your needs? Well, Luke is like having another person. I wouldn't say fulfills my needs. He is comforting. He's cuddly. Um, Lonely on the road. You know what? I found I like being alone. I don't need people around me to be entertained. I've got you folks. I've got so many projects with Volta and Embassy and my job and learning how to play the guitar. I'm actually kind of ready to get. I'm familyed out, frankly, and ready to love them, but ready to get some solitude. And if I want to meet people, there's a million places to go meet people. So no, never lonely. And some days I just like closing the doors and just talking to nobody. It's okay, right? Um, Great question. Got some new comments down here. Let's see. Embassy RV. Say, hey, Deb. Van life's already a moneymaker. Well, if you broke it down on an hourly basis, it's about 10 cents an hour. So my goal for the year is $3,000 off YouTube and $1,000 a month off of affiliate income. Again, super transparent. I cut back my corporate job so I could do more of this, and I need to make up the difference. This is a business. Yes, it's going up. I put a buttload of work into it last month, so I'm going to expect it to dip until it rebalances. But yeah, I mean, it's a moneymaker. There's some people I'm sure making 5, 10, 15,000 a month, probably teenagers. I'm an old guy. But I'm just really excited to share all this stuff with you folks. It's just it's a labor of love, and it's just changing lives. Literally, my life was changed because of those folks I mentioned, and I'm helping other people change their lives now. Look at the board: Kit and Minnesota Dave, Jane. I mean, it's Terry. It's so amazing what this whole thing enables us these days, and that's what it's about, really. I mean, we need to eat. Not a charity case, but it's a business. So everything you guys do to help support the channel is much appreciative. Really appreciate it. Boca Raton, just down the road. Okay, a couple more questions, and then we'll call it a wrap. Oh, this is funny. I have to know, anybody ever told you look like Jeff Goldblum? And you subbed after watching RV shows. It was the first thing I thought when I saw you in the mask. I have. He's a pretty handsome dude, right? So that's a big thumb up or my thing right there. So thank you for that. He's a great actor. I love most of the stuff he's done. Doesn't he have a podcast or a show or something now? Somebody told me about that. If that's your viewer recommendation of the week, please put it in. It doesn't have to be about van stuff. Just let's learn and share together. The other one I get confused for sometimes is a young Al Gore, as in former Vice President Al Gore. That one, not so excited about. Not overly handsome guy in my opinion, but I'll take Jeff Goldblum any day. Thank you. Yeah, Alex, we just showed this a little bit ago. So in December it's $500. In January it's $1,300. So hopefully that keeps going up. My goal is to get 3,000 a month pretty consistently. So a lot of work to go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ginger, you would have died. It was so crazy. We won the Village Award for Best Decorated House, and they're still talking about the werewolf in the front yard. It was so much fun. Maybe we'll have to do a video on that because it was kind of go out, like Oprah, go out at the top. That's kind of how we rolled there. Al Gore, how funny. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to call it a wrap for this evening. Again, thank you. 140 people now. I saw 152, so I think we had just peaked over our last one. I know we're competing with Chad and Paul doing live vegetarian food in their van, that is some serious competition. What a great time we have that you can choose cool van content live and then watch it at your own speed. This is just great. Um, a couple more questions on here. We'll get to those next week. If you didn't get them answered tonight, James, we got a whole video coming up on the sink faucet change. You're going to love that. So again, thank you everybody for pull this for attending tonight. Where'd she go? Right there. And just again, thank you for everything you do for me, and hopefully I do a little bit for you. And we'll see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central for What's Up Wednesday. The email again, GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. Pet photo, song, viewer recommendation goes into that email box. All right. So with that, we say night night, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.